The galaxy was wide, endless and full of life. Stars burned like jewels in the darkness, and around them countless civilizations had grown. For many ages, these civilizations lived in peace. Trade ships carried goods between worlds, scholars shared knowledge, and explorers mapped unknown regions. The Galactic Council, made of many species, worked to keep harmony, but peace never lasted forever. From the far edge of the galaxy, a new power rose. They were called the Kror Dominion. Their ships were black as night, sharp like blades, and their fleets moved like storms. To the Kror, war was not just survival, it was joy. They believed only the strongest deserved to live, and the weak existed only to serve. The first time the galaxy saw the Kror fleet, it was on the world of Tornith Prime. Tornith Prime was a center of trade, a bright jewel of culture, a place where hundreds of species lived together. The Kror fleet arrived without warning. At first, the citizens looked up and thought it was only a passing armada. Then the sky turned red with fire. The Kror did not ask for surrender. They did not speak. They simply destroyed. Towers fell, cities burned, oceans boiled. Billions died in a single day. When the fires ended, the Kror left behind nothing but ashes and silence. News of Tornith Prime spread faster than light. Every world heard the same words. One fleet made us tremble. Fear began to spread. The Kror moved again and again, striking worlds one by one. They never sent more than a single fleet, yet no one could stop them. Some planets surrendered without a fight, hoping to be spared. Others tried to resist, but their weapons were too weak. Each time, the Kror left ruins behind them. On the council, world of Varus, leaders gathered in the Great Hall. Hundreds of species filled the chamber. Tall, scaled Varans hissed nervously. Short, feathered Krelans whispered in worry. The long-faced Othari kept their heads low, afraid even to speak. The council leader, High Speaker Relan, raised his voice. "We must act," he said. "If the Kror continue, no world will be safe. Their fleet crushes all in its path. Already, 5-star systems have fallen. Soon it will be 10, then 20. Who among us can stop them?" Silence answered him. Everyone knew the truth. No army in the galaxy was strong enough. The council had peacekeepers, yes, but they were meant to solve disputes, not fight wars. The other civilizations had militaries, but they were small, built for defense, not for facing a storm like the Kror. The Krelans spoke first. "We should surrender, offer them tribute. Perhaps then they will leave us alone." The Varans hissed, in anger. "Fools, do you not understand? They take tribute, then take more. They will never stop." The Othari, always cautious, whispered, "Then we must hide. Move our people into the deep reaches of space. Wait for the storm to pass." Arguments filled the chamber. Some shouted for peace, others for retreat. But none spoke of victory. None believed victory was possible. Then from one corner of the chamber a small voice spoke. It belonged to Ambassador Tira Nal, a representative of a lesser-known planet, far from the center of power. "What about Earth?" she asked. The chamber grew still. Many council members looked confused. Others frowned as if the word was strange on their tongues. "Earth?" one of the Krelans asked. "That backwater world, primitive, young, barely in the council for 100 years. They are nothing," another scoffed. "Farmers, traders, miners, they have no great fleets, no ancient weapons." But Ambassador Tira Nal shook her head. "You are wrong. I have studied them. They may not be old like the Varans, or wise, like the Othari, but they are different. Their history is full of wars, yet they survived. Again and again, they rise stronger after every disaster. Where others surrender, humans fight." Her words caused murmurs, but few took them seriously. "Humans?" one council member said. "What can they do? One fleet makes even us tremble. Do you expect a young world to stand where ancient civilizations have fallen?" Before Tira Nal could answer, a messenger ran into the chamber shaking with fear. "High Speaker, news from the Rim. The Kror have attacked Zorath, one of our fortress worlds. It fell in 2 days. The Kror fleet moves closer to the core. Gasps filled the hall. Zorath was supposed to be strong, a shield for the Council worlds. If even Zorath fell, then truly nothing could stop the Kror. The High Speaker struck his staff against the floor, silencing the voices. "We will send messages," he declared, "to every world, every people. We will ask for help. We will beg, if we must, and yes, send one to Earth as well. Even if they cannot help, perhaps they will give us food, medicine, or supplies. We need everything we can get." The order was given, and messages spread across the stars. Pleas for aid, calls for hope, cries for survival. On most worlds, citizens only whispered in fear. They asked the same question again and again. If one fleet can make the galaxy tremble, what chance do we have? The Kror Dominion moved forward without slowing. Their ships darkened the skies of new planets. Their weapons burned new cities. Every species watched and waited, afraid their world would be next. Far away, on a blue and green planet called Earth, a message arrived. It carried a simple request from the Galactic Council. "Help us. The galaxy trembles. The Kror fleet cannot be stopped." The humans read the message. They looked at one another, and then, slowly, a strange smile appeared on their faces. The Galactic Council had sent messages to every corner of the stars. Their pleas traveled faster than light, crossing great distances. Most worlds answered with sorrow, not strength. Some offered medicine, some promised food. A few spoke of prayers. But no one promised soldiers, no one promised fleets. Every species feared the Kror Dominion. None wanted to risk drawing the storm upon themselves. Among all these replies, one world was different. That world was Earth. On the council world of Varys, High Speaker Relin sat in the Great Hall. His advisors stood around him, faces grim. The Kror fleet had taken 3 more systems in the last month. Refugees flooded council space, crying of burned homes and lost families. Relin's aide, a young Creelin with bright feathers, hurried into the chamber. "High Speaker," he said breathlessly, "a reply has come. From Earth." At first, the counselors did not react. Some even laughed bitterly. "Earth?" Averin hissed. "The small world of humans? What can they offer us? Wheat? Spices? Singing? Perhaps they will send doctors," muttered an Othari. "Humans are fond of healing, are they not?" "Doctors will not stop the Kror," Relin said tiredly. "But read the message. Let us at least hear them." The aide activated the holoscreen. A human face appeared. His skin was lined with age, his hair gray, his eyes sharp as blades. Behind him stood the blue flag of Earth, marked with a circle of stars. He spoke clearly, in a voice that carried calm steel. "People of the Council, we have received your message. We know of the Kror Dominion, and we understand your fear." The chamber leaned forward. The human paused only for a breath, then said 5 simple words that shook the room. "We are coming. Prepare space." Nothing more. The screen went dark. For a long moment, silence held the chamber. Then voices burst out all at once. "What does that mean?" hissed a Veyron. "They are mad," cried a Creelan. "Coming where? With what?" asked an Othari. High Speaker Relan raised his hand for quiet. His face showed both confusion and curiosity. "They did not speak of food. They did not speak of medicine. They spoke as if they will fight." The counselors laughed bitterly. "Fight? Humans? Against the Kror? They have no great fleets. They have no history in war beyond their own planet. They are reckless, they do not understand what they face." But Ambassador Tira Nal, the human supporter, leaned forward. Her eyes were bright. "No," she whispered. "They understand. That is why they smile." Meanwhile, across the stars, Earth was preparing. Factories thundered with noise. Giant shipyards orbited above the planet, metal skeletons of warships glowing under welding sparks. Engineers worked day and night, building faster than most species thought possible. Earth had always been underestimated. To the Council, humans were new, untested, not ancient like the others. But Earth carried something more dangerous than age. Earth carried memory. For thousands of years, humans had fought wars among themselves, kingdom against kingdom, nation against nation, world war after world war. The scars of those battles still ran deep, carved into Earth's history. When the Galactic Council first welcomed humanity, they thought humans would finally put war behind them. The Council admired their music, their curiosity, their laughter. But the humans never forgot the old lessons. They studied war even in peace. They prepared even when there was no enemy. Now the enemy had come, and Earth was ready. On the shipyard orbiting Luna, Admiral Marcus Hale stood on the deck of the carrier Resolute. He watched the assembly lines bring new fighters into the hangars. His officers approached. "Admiral," one said, "intelligence confirms the Corps have over 1,000 warships in their Dominion fleet. Our forces are still gathering. Many are untested." Hale did not look away from the window. His voice was calm. "Good. Then they will learn in battle. Humans always learn fastest when survival is on the line." Another officer frowned. "Sir, some in the Council do not believe in us. They say we are reckless." Hale's lips curved into a hard smile. "They are right. We are reckless. That is why we will win. The Corps fight by rules, by strength, by terror. We fight by breaking rules. That is the human way." The first, scouts from the Council arrived at Earth soon after. They expected to find chaos or perhaps weakness. Instead, they were stunned. The Kreelan scout, Fiva, wrote in her report, "The humans do not fear. They work. They build. Their eyes are strange. They shine not with panic, but with hunger. A hunger for the fight." The Othari scout, Lurin, trembled as he spoke to the Council. "I saw their armies training, men and women marching in lines, machines rolling like thunder. They plan not only to defend Earth, but to carry war into the stars. I have never seen such purpose. It frightens me." One Varen scoffed. "It is madness. They will only draw the Cror's fury faster." But another whispered, "Perhaps madness is what we need." Back on Varys, more reports arrived. Earth's shipyards had already produced 2 massive fleets. New weapons were being tested. Railguns that hurled metal at impossible speeds. Missiles that could split into dozens of smaller warheads. Drones that fought without fear. And yet the most shocking thing was not the technology. It was the attitude. Every alien scout who visited Earth reported the same thing. Humans did not tremble. While other worlds hid or surrendered, the humans sharpened their blades. They did not ask, "How can we survive?" They asked, "Where do we strike first?" In the Council chambers, High Speaker Raylan read the reports and felt something strange stir inside him. Hope. He addressed the chamber. "Perhaps we were wrong to doubt. The humans are not like us. We see a storm and hide. They see a storm and sail into it. Perhaps this is what the galaxy needs." But still, many argued, if they fail, the Cror will only grow stronger. If they fight and lose, the Dominion will crush them and us with them. They are reckless children playing with fire. Ambassador Tira Nal rose again. Her voice rang clear. "Children? Perhaps. But children grow. And these children carry weapons in their hands and fire in their hearts. I believe the Cror will regret underestimating Earth." Her words hung in the air. Some scoffed, some laughed, but some listened. Meanwhile, across the stars, the Cror Dominion also received whispers of Earth. Cror warlords laughed when they heard. "A young world, a few fleets, they dare resist us? Crush them quickly, send a fleet to burn their skies, make them an example." And so, orders were given. A Cror fleet, vast and terrible, turned its course toward the small blue planet called Earth. The galaxy held its breath. Most expected Earth to vanish in fire, like Tornith Prime, like Zorath, like all the others. But on Earth, soldiers were already boarding ships. Commanders were already plotting battles. Factories thundered louder than ever. The humans looked at the coming storm, and instead of trembling, they smiled. The Kror Dominion moved with the arrogance of a predator. To them, Earth was nothing but another weak world. Their warlord, Vorak the Iron Fang, commanded a fleet of 200 warships. His ships were massive, blades of steel and fire, black, hulls carved with cruel markings. Each one carried enough firepower to burn a city in a single strike. When Vorak gave the order to attack Earth, his warriors cheered. They had destroyed many worlds before. They expected this one to be no different. "Crush them," Vorak growled. "Leave their planet smoking. Let the galaxy see what happens when prey dares to bare its teeth." The Kror fleet moved through the void, engines burning like red suns. Alien spies carried the news back to the council. Fear spread again. "They are going to Earth," whispered the Othari. "Earth will fall," said the Krelans sadly. "Then we are all doomed," hissed the Varans. But Ambassador Tira Nal spoke differently. "Wait," she said softly. "Do not bury them yet. Watch closely. The humans may surprise you." On Earth, alarms rang. In orbit around the planet, the first human fleet formed ranks. Admiral Marcus Hale stood on the bridge of the carrier Resolute. The screens showed hundreds of human warships ready for battle. Frigates, destroyers, carriers, and dreadnoughts. All new, all built in the fire of desperation. His officers waited for his command. Hale's face was calm, but his eyes burned. "The Kror think we are weak," he said. "They believe they can scare us as they scared the galaxy. Today we show them the truth. Today humanity writes its name in the stars." The humans were ready. Their ships carried weapons forged in secret, railguns that hurled slugs at speeds that could pierce, Kror armor, missile swarms that split into smaller warheads mid-flight, stealth drones built to strike from the shadows, and most dangerous of all, the human will to fight, sharpened through centuries of war. The two fleets met in the darkness between stars. The Kror ships came in formation, like a wall of fire. The human ships spread out, looser, flexible, like hunters circling prey. The moment they came into range, Vorak's voice thundered across the comms. "Humans, you are nothing. You will burn. Your planet will burn. Your name will vanish from history." Admiral Hale answered with a cold smile. "Try us." The battle began. The Kror opened fire first. Red beams of plasma shot through space, tearing into the void. Explosions shook the shields of human destroyers. A frigate named Horizon took a direct hit and split apart. Her crew lost in seconds. But the humans did not break. "Return fire," Hale ordered. Railguns roared. Giant slugs of metal flew faster than thought. They smashed into Kror shields, breaking through where plasma could not. A Kror battleship shuddered, its armor cracking, and then erupted in fire. Missiles launched by the dozens, trails of light chasing their targets. At the last moment, each missile split into many smaller warheads, overwhelming the Kror defenses. Two more Kror ships exploded in blinding flashes. The galaxy watched through hidden transmitters. Aliens across the stars leaned forward, expecting the humans to die quickly. Instead, they saw the impossible, the Kror fleet bleeding. Vorak snarled, "Push harder! They are only insects!" His ship surged forward, trying to crush the humans with sheer power. Kror boarding craft launched, aiming to smash into human carriers, but humans were ready. "Deploy drones," Hale shouted. From the carriers, swarms of black drones poured out. They moved fast, too fast for Kror gunners. They swarmed the boarding craft, tearing them apart with rail spikes and plasma bursts. Kror warriors inside screamed as their vessels were ripped to pieces before ever reaching human ships. On the ground of one human ship, the Iron Star, Kror warriors managed to breach the hull. They came roaring with blades and plasma rifles. Human Marines met them in the corridors. The fighting was brutal, close, personal. A Kror soldier, 7 feet tall, swung a blade of burning plasma. A human Marine, smaller but faster, dodged and fired 3 bursts into its chest. Another Marine hurled a grenade down the hallway, blasting 3 Kror into smoke. The Kror expected fear. Instead, they found rage. Humans fought not as prey but as predators. Hours passed. The battle raged. Both sides lost ships. Explosions lit the void like a storm of suns. A Kror cruiser rammed into a human destroyer, tearing both apart in fire. A human frigate dove straight through enemy lines, launching every missile it carried before it was destroyed. Its sacrifice took down 3 Kror ships. The balance began to shift. The Kror were used to enemies breaking after the first wave. They were used to victory through fear. But the humans did not break. They adapted. They struck back harder each time. Admiral Hale stood firm, eyes on the tactical map. He saw the Kror fleet pressing too far, leaving gaps in their formation. He smiled. "Now," he ordered. "Bring in the hammer." From the darkness behind the battle, hidden ships appeared. It was Earth's second fleet waiting in ambush. They had stayed cloaked, silent, unseen until now. They fell upon the Kror flank like wolves. Missiles, drones, and railguns tore into the unguarded ships. Kror warships spun in panic, but it was too late. The galaxy gasped. The humans had outplayed the Kror. Vorak roared with fury. His flagship, the Bloodfang, fired everything it had. It destroyed 3 human ships in rage, but even that could not turn the tide. A railgun slug, massive and heavy, pierced the Bloodfang's shields. It tore through its armor, leaving fire in its wake. Vorak staggered on his bridge, growling, refusing to believe what he saw. These creatures, they are not supposed to fight like this, he snarled. But reality was clear. The Kror fleet was broken. One by one, Kror ships fell. Some exploded. Others tried to retreat. The humans hunted them down, not letting them escape to warn the Dominion. When the battle finally ended, the void was filled with wreckage. Human ships floated battered but victorious. Of the 200 Kror warships, barely 30 fled into the dark. The rest were destroyed. Admiral Hale stood on the bridge of the Resolute. His face was tired, but his voice was steady. "Signal Earth. The first clash is ours." News of the battle spread across the galaxy faster than light. Refugees, traders, soldiers, scholars, all whispered the same words. The Kror fleet was defeated. By humans. It was impossible. It was unbelievable, yet it was true. For the first time in living memory, the Kror had lost. Alien worlds trembled, but now with something new. Hope. The phrase began to spread, repeated in cantinas, marketplaces, and council halls. One fleet made us tremble, but Earth made them bleed. The galaxy would never be the same again. The galaxy had never seen humans like this. The first battle against the Kror fleet had stunned every species. Ships were destroyed, cities saved, and alien observers watched in disbelief. But humans were not content with a single victory. They were just beginning. Admiral Marcus Hale stood on the bridge of the Resolute watching the stars. The remaining Kror fleet had fled into deep space, and the humans were free to strike again. "Prepare the ground forces," Hale ordered. "The galaxy is waiting for us to lead." Earth's armies were ready. Unlike most civilizations, humans did not rely solely on ships. They trained in space, on planets, and even in zero-gravity arenas. They studied strategy, logistics, and rapid deployment. Every soldier was prepared for battle, but every soldier also knew how to survive against impossible odds. On Earth, the Legion of the Brave, the first human ground army, loaded into transport ships. Thousands of soldiers, fully equipped, moved, like a tide of steel. Their armor was light but strong. Their rifles fired plasma bolts capable of piercing alien shields. Drones hovered alongside them, scouting, attacking, defending. Commander Elena Park led the 1st Battalion. Her eyes scanned the briefing screen. "Target planet, Zorath," she said. "The Kror enslaved its people and destroyed much of its infrastructure. We go in, liberate the cities, and neutralize the remaining Kror forces. Minimal civilian casualties. Move fast, hit hard." Her troops responded with quiet efficiency. Humans did not panic. They did not hesitate. They were ready to fight. The transports pierced the atmosphere of Zorath, entering orbit like falling stars. The Kror defenses had not expected another attack. Their fleet was shattered, their warlords in shock. They had not counted on humans sending armies across space. On the surface, the first human squads disembarked. Soldiers ran through ruined streets, scanning for Kror patrols. Their drones hovered above, sending live feed to the command ships. Humans moved with precision, covering every street, alley, and building. A Kror squad appeared suddenly, charging at the humans with heavy plasma blades. They expected terror, screaming prey, but humans fired coordinated volleys. Each shot found its mark. Kror warriors fell one by one. Sergeant David Kim, leading a squad in the city center, shouted, "Keep moving, secure the civilians." Human forces advanced like a tide. Buildings were cleared in minutes. Hospitals were secured, families rescued, and Kror survivors captured or neutralized. While humans fought, alien observers could not believe their eyes. Scouts from the Galactic Council watched in disbelief. "The humans, they are unstoppable," whispered Lurin, the Othari scout. "They fight like a single organism," said Krelin Fiva. "Every movement is synchronized, every attack calculated, and yet they are fierce, almost joyful in combat." Vayrens in hiding muttered, "I have never seen a species fight with such courage. They are not just warriors, they are liberators." Earth did not stop at Zorath. The second target was Krellin Prime, a heavily industrialized Kror mining world. The humans approached with their fleet, and the remaining Kror warships tried to defend it. This time, humans combined space and ground tactics. From orbit, human dreadnoughts fired precise strikes at military facilities. Fighters swarmed Kror ships, disabling them without destroying the planet. Ground forces landed in multiple locations, moving fast and striking simultaneously. Commander Elena Park coordinated the attacks via live comms. Team Alpha, secure the energy plants. Team Beta, move to the city centers. Team Gamma, block all escape routes. Civilian safety is priority. Engage only combatants. The Kror were caught off guard. They expected terror, not a human army moving with such precision and intelligence. In one industrial city, a Kror warlord tried to rally his troops. He roared, "Kill them, crush their puny humans." Humans responded with a coordinated strike. Drones disabled the Kror vehicles. Soldiers breached the headquarters. The warlord fought, massive and terrifying, but was overwhelmed by numbers, strategy, and sheer determination. He fell. His remaining soldiers surrendered. The city was liberated. Citizens cheered as humans raised the blue and white flags of Earth. For the first time in decades, the people of Krellin Prime felt hope. Across the galaxy, news of the human army spread faster than any broadcast. Refugees and survivors told tales of incredible bravery, precision, and mercy. Humans did not kill indiscriminately. They spared civilians, treated the wounded, and restored order quickly. The phrase began to echo. Earth does not just fight, they free. The Kror Dominion, meanwhile, was furious. Their fleets were broken. Their planets were being liberated one by one. Warlords who had once laughed at Earth now shook with rage. Vorak, recovering from the first defeat, screamed at his council. "The humans are not like other species. They do not fear us. They do not retreat. They fight differently. They adapt. They are deadly." His advisors tried to calm him. "They are small, warlord. Perhaps we can trap them next time." Vorak slammed his claw on the table. "Trap them. They are not animals to trap. They are monsters." Meanwhile, humans prepared for the next wave. Earth's command centers coordinated every fleet and army. Logistics, intelligence, and tactics were synchronized across systems. Each soldier, pilot, and commander knew their role. Humans adapted every day, learning from each engagement. Commander Park addressed her battalion before the next mission. "Remember this. We are not invaders. We are liberators. Every world we free joins the fight against the Kror. Every planet we protect strengthens the galaxy. Fight smart, fight together, and remember, Humans never give up. Her troops nodded, their faces fierce with determination. The galaxy began to change. Planets once under Kror control now looked to humans as saviors. Their fleets, their armies, their leaders, they had witnessed what humans could do. Even species who had doubted humanity before now sent envoys to offer support. Supplies, knowledge, intelligence, all flowed to Earth's forces. The phrase spread further. One fleet made them tremble, but when Earth showed up, they realized their empire could fall. The Kror Dominion tried to respond. They rebuilt some warships, reinforced others, and sent spies. But the humans were always ahead. They anticipated, adapted, and struck before the Dominion could act. Every victory on the battlefield made humans stronger. Every planet liberated made the Kror weaker. And everywhere humans went, their reputation grew. For the first time, the galaxy saw the truth. Humans were not just another species. They were a force unlike any other. On Zorath, the first liberated planet, children played in the streets for the first time in decades. Adults repaired homes. Markets reopened. And everywhere people looked to the sky, hoping to see the human fleet moving silently among the stars, protecting them from the darkness. Ambassador Tira Nal visited the city, tears in her eyes. She whispered to a group of counselors, "They are more than warriors. They are hope. They are proof that even the smallest world can change the galaxy." And somewhere far away, Admiral Hale and Commander Park prepared for the next mission. Their eyes were fixed on the stars, knowing the greatest challenge was yet to come. The Kror would not give up easily. But humans did not fear. Humans never feared. They were ready to show the galaxy the full might of the deadly army of Earth. The Kror Dominion had never faced an enemy like this. Their fleets were shattered. Their planets were falling one by one. Their warlords trembled at the mention of Earth. Yet they would not give up. Vorak, the Iron Fang, scarred from his first defeat, gathered what remained of his forces. His flagship, the Bloodfang, led a fleet of 500 ships, the largest assembly in decades. It was a fleet built for annihilation, a fleet meant to crush humanity once and for all. Vorak's voice thundered across the command bridge. "Humans, you have humiliated us. You have killed our best warriors and shattered our pride. Today I will end your rebellion. Today the galaxy will know fear once more." But the humans were ready. Admiral Marcus Hale stood aboard the Resolute, watching the incoming Kror armada. His face was calm, but his mind raced. Every tactic, every formation, every strike had been planned in advance. Beside him, Commander Elena Park checked the readiness of the ground divisions. Soldiers packed into transport ships, armored and armed to the teeth. Drones hovered silently, waiting to scout and attack. Hale spoke to his fleet. "This is the final battle. The Kror aim to destroy everything we built, everything we saved. But we will not break. Today, humans fight not just for Earth, but for every world they have freed. Today, the galaxy watches. And today, we win." The fleets collided in the void above the system of Varus Prime. The Kror unleashed a storm of plasma fire. Their largest warships fired continuously, creating rivers of red light that cut across space. The humans responded with precision. Railguns fired in synchronized volleys, tearing holes in the enemy's shields. Missile swarms split mid-flight, overwhelming the Kror defenses. Drones attacked with surgical efficiency, disabling engines and weapon systems. Vorak could not understand. How can such a young species fight like this? How do they destroy my ships without fear? The humans were everywhere, yet nowhere. Their tactics were not predictable. They struck, retreated, circled, and struck again. Every movement was calculated, every strike devastating. On the ground of Varus Prime, humans had already begun deploying. Transport ships descended, carrying the Legion of the Brave and additional battalions. Humans moved through the cities, liberating any pockets of Kror resistance. Tanks rolled through streets, drones hovered above, and soldiers cleared each building with careful precision. Commander Park led one battalion through the central city. Kror warriors, desperate and terrified, attacked in waves. They expected fear from the humans. They expected hesitation. They received neither. Human soldiers fought as one. Every squad coordinated with the other, covering flanks, anticipating moves and neutralizing threats before they could strike. Kror warriors fell quickly, unable to match human speed, intelligence, and determination. Sergeant David Kim shouted across the street, "Move forward, secure the central tower. We cannot. Let them regroup." His squad responded instantly, pushing through ruined buildings and clearing the last Kror defenders in minutes. Meanwhile, in space, the battle reached its peak. Vorak's flagship fired relentlessly. The Bloodfang tore apart several human cruisers, and fires erupted across the fleet. It seemed the Kror might finally regain the upper hand. But Admiral Hale had anticipated this. "Deploy the second wave," he ordered. From the shadows of nearby star systems, Earth's hidden fleets emerged. Hundreds of ships previously cloaked struck the Kror flanks. They cut off retreat, isolated warships, and forced the enemy into chaos. The Kror fleet, built for fear and intimidation, now faced precision, coordination, and ruthless efficiency. Ships exploded in massive fireballs and survivors fled toward the edges of the system. Vorak roared in fury. "No, this cannot be. Humans cannot." A railgun shot, faster than thought, tore through the hull of the Bloodfang. Fire and smoke filled the bridge. Vorak fell to the ground, screaming as alarms blared. At the same moment, human ground forces captured key military facilities across Varus Prime. Supply lines were cut. Communication centers destroyed. Kror soldiers surrendered. By the thousands, humans treated the captured with fairness, taking prisoners instead of executing them, further building trust with the liberated population. The citizens of Varus Prime cheered. They had feared the Kror for decades, and now humans had not only stopped them but defeated them completely. Flags of Earth and allied species flew across cities. Hope was alive again. The galaxy watched in awe. Every broadcast, every messenger, every observer transmitted the same message. Earth did not just fight, they led. And when they led, the Kror fell. Other liberated worlds joined the fight. Ships and soldiers from newly freed planets supported the humans. The galaxy was united for the first time in generations, all under the leadership of Earth. Admiral Hale observed the tide of war. "We are not alone," he said. "The galaxy has learned the human way. We fight not for glory, but for survival and freedom. And together nothing can stop us." The final moments of the battle approached. The remaining Kror ships tried to flee. Vorak, furious and desperate, ordered a last-ditch attack on the human command center. His fleet charged straight into the thick of human forces, hoping to destroy the bridge of the Resolute. Hale had already predicted this. Human dreadnoughts formed a wall, and missiles and railguns tore into the charging Kror ships. Each vessel that entered the human line was destroyed or disabled. The fleet's formation collapsed entirely. Vorak, aboard the Bloodfang, realized the truth too late. Humans did not fight like the galaxy expected. They fought smart, coordinated, and with unbreakable will. His ship shuddered as the final railgun struck the core. Explosions consumed the flagship, and Vorak screamed as fire engulfed him. The Kror dominion had fallen. The surviving Kror ships fled into uncharted space, broken and leaderless. The galaxy was free. Humans had not only defeated the Kror, they had inspired the entire galaxy. The message was clear. Even the mightiest empires could fall before the strength, intelligence, and courage of humanity. After the battle, Admiral Hale and Commander Park stood on the bridge of the Resolute, looking at the liberated worlds below. "Have we done enough?" Park asked quietly. Hale shook his head. "We have only begun. The galaxy has hope again. Our job is to make sure it stays that way. But today, humanity showed the stars what we are capable of." Across the galaxy, alien leaders began to speak openly of Earth. The humans, "They are not like any species we have seen before," said one Othari counselor. "They fight with courage, with intelligence, and with honor," said a Kreelan ambassador. "They are the galaxy's shield," said a Veyran elder. And in every liberated city, every freed planet, the words spread. "One fleet made us tremble." But when Earth showed up with a deadly army, even empires fell. Humans had proven that even a young species, underestimated and dismissed, could change the course of the galaxy. They had led, fought, and triumphed. The galaxy knew one truth above all: never underestimate Earth. Humans were no longer just a small blue planet in a vast galaxy. They were legends. They were heroes. They were the force that could protect the weak, challenge the mighty, and stand unbroken against the darkness.